Welcome to the TransMissions Trips to the Store, where we show off all the cool Transformers merch we got this week. So, as Darryl is our Transformers expert, usually, we're going to start off with Darryl.
You guys build me up so much. I have nowhere to go but down.
That's the whole point.
That's my job.
Okay, so big week for me. Not in like quantity, but in like awesomeness.
Value Village really.
Value Village, I bought them out. No. First off, there has been a campaign within this podcast to make me buy a new freaking mouse. So I had to go out and buy a new mouse. This is the packaging because apparently this drives people crazy.
Well, it doesn't drive the listeners crazy. It drives the people who have to edit the podcast crazy. Because
we having another GoBot scenario. This is not a Transformer. This shit needs to stop, Darryl.
This has everything to do with the show. So, anyway, I was sitting there. I went to 2 stores. I was sitting there clicking the mouse in the package, looking like a freaking moron. And the quietest one that I could find was this teeny little one for a laptop. So, anyway, I've gone now from this to this.
I can still hear it.
That's all you're getting. That's all you're getting. Moving on.
You know, you asked us on Twitter which one to get, and I specifically told you the pink ones were the quietest ones.
Well, I don't know how you know that, but this one sounded the quietest. I'm moving away from the mouse and onto some actual Transformers related stuff.
All right, Jeremy, what do you got this week?
That, everybody, is what we call an edit point. I learned that this week.
Yesterday was Free Comic Book Day. It's a kick-ass day. I went to my local comic book shop and picked up Transformers vs. G.I. Joe #0 by Tom Scioli, who we talked to on the show a couple weeks ago. And I picked up 2. One for Yoshi, because he said that he does not have a comic book store, so I felt kind of bad. Not really, but, you know, I had the opportunity. Now, my comic book store puts a tiny little sticker on the back here, and some of them...
Are you fucking kidding me?
You got a problem?
I see that they haven't been bagged and boarded for you, and they put a sticker directly on the comic?
Well, they're not going to bag and board a free comic. That's ridiculous.
You know,
Yoshi, what elite, like, upper crust stores are you going to where they bag and board every single comic you buy and don't buy because they're free, and they don't put the stamp where they specifically put the space to put a stamp or a sticker because they're trying to advertise the comic shop? The Free Comic Book Day people know that the comic stores are going to put the stickers or stamps on there. That's why they have that big white blank space. So what comic shops are you going to that, you know, don't do that?
So put a card in the bag of comics that they bought for the day, or give them a little QR code so that they can be liked on Facebook. But, you know, as somebody who reads and collects comics, I don't want I mean, that's defaced. Already that's lost market value. And unless every comic book on Free Comic Book Day in every comic book shop across the land got marked, that's automatically worthless, and worthless for that matter. And
no, Yoshi, I'm not arguing that, you know, I would rather they didn't do it, but I don't understand how you have the expectation that comic stores aren't going to do it.
I have the expectation because I go into the comic book store as a collector. I don't go into it as like, oh, this is going to be... I'm coming in here because I need new bathroom material for the next month. I'm coming in there because I'm a fan of the book and I like to collect them. You know, if I didn't give a shit, I'd buy them on my iPad. like Jeremy.
Hey, I also buy them in person.
Don't bring Jeremy into this. Jeremy he's not involved in this.
And I'm not
No,
saying
because my comic book store doesn't do it.
I'm not saying I've got a saint of a comic book store, but they bag and board my shit. They're also really quick to say, we don't have that book, but we can get you the second printing. Well, sorry, as a collector, I don't give a fuck about a second printing, and that also is equally as worthless to me. But to put it in a bag and a board and put the stamp on the bag or something, but don't.
Well, to be fair, the free comic book day, the way that most stores have it is a big table with just stacks of books. So I doubt they're going to have the manpower to board everything.
I think I figured out what Yoshi has, around him. His store that he goes to is shit scared of him. And they board everything for Yoshi. They do not mess up his books. They don't even charge him. They just give him the books and hope that he does not rip the place to shreds. That's my feeling on it.
I vote with my dollar. Every comic book store I've ever been in, you pick up the comic, you go to the front, they put it in a bag and a board, and they sell it to you. The really good ones don't even charge you for the bag and the board because they want you to come back. But this is just, presumably the people running these comic book shops are collectors themselves, and they hopefully a part of their soul dies to the fact that they're doing that. It's just it's blasphemy.
For me, honestly, this book, these books for Free Comic Book Day are meant to bring new readers into the genre.
Fuck you, Darryl. If you had a choice between a marked book and a non-marked book, which one are you going to pick up?
I would take a non-marked book, yes.
Okay.
But then I am a collector.
Everything you say from here on out. Go on.
I personally, these books, these Free Comic Book Day books, it's extremely rare if one of them ends up being worth anything. Now, this one is one of those ones that possibly could be, because there's no, this is the first, appearance of these, like the first issue of this trade or whatever. It's not the first appearance of any of the characters or anything like that. But it's just a Free Comic Book Day book. There's 100 million of these things made, right? They're meant to bring a whole bunch of kids in. When I was at the store, I saw people grabbing these books and just grabbing them and crunching them up just as they grabbed them off the pack.
Good. They're creating scarcity. Now the book that Jeremy got for me is worth a little bit more.
But I, for one, am, as a collector, yeah, this bothers me. But if they put these stickers on books that I paid for, that would be a whole nother level of curiosity of me.
This is a special issue that is. It's a number one. It's going to be worth something.
It's a number 0.
It's an issue 0. It's the start of something new. Now, I can't speak for all the books that have been released on Free Comic Book Day, but there was a free issue of Transformers Generation 2 issue 0 on a Free Comic Book Day that I've never seen.
1.
What did I say?
Generation 2.
Okay, Generation 1. And I've never seen that less than $100 anywhere.
The Regeneration 1 number 0?
No. Generation 2 in the 90s.
Okay.
I didn't.
So there's a precedent there for these free issues to be worth something.
Okay.
Anyways, comic book stores shouldn't be such heathens.
Although you gotta wonder if 20 years down the line, having one with a comic book store could bring nostalgia to particular people, so it might be worth more, if someone's like, oh, that was my comic book store when I was a kid, and they'd be willing to pay more.
It's true. But it's a Free
Small
Comic Book
market.
Day book, and I don't really care. Moving on, I had My comic book store that I actually go to for Free Comic Book Day has, they give away 3 books, and so 3 of the actual Free Comic Book Day books, and then they give away a few of the of their vast quantity of like back issues that they really just don't want to keep anymore. So I went sifting through those piles, and I was able to come across some actual Transformers books. So I have issue 0 from the IDW series, and this was free.
Nice.
All right, so that was cool, and there is no sticker on it because it was in a bag and a board. So I went and I found 2 more Transformers books. Now they're the same book, but I grabbed them because I actually remember having this, and I went looking for it a couple of times and I couldn't find it. So this is Transformers Animated. No number, but it's a Free Comic Book Day edition, and there is a sticker on both of them. So, yeah. So I have this. If anybody actually wants this, let me know. I'll send it to you. I was looking at it just to see who did the art, because I know that number 1, the art was done by Alex Milne. So I couldn't see who did the art in that one. They have no credits in it, actually. It's kind of odd.
What year was that from?
Let's see. This is from 2008.
Cool. I think I might have missed that year.
Oh, okay. Well, if you need it, I have it. So, on to actual toys and awesome shit anyway. My pre-orders that I've been saving for a really long time actually finally came in, and I was able to get them. So the first thing I have, and I haven't built it yet, I'm going to save it for a review, is this Make Toys, My First Blaster.
Nice. So you can have fun with your Generation Swerve.
Oh, is that who he's for?
Keep rubbing it in.
So yeah, he's actually. This is really interesting because they don't really send it. They send it to you all in like sprues and stuff. So you actually take it apart and you build it like a model. So that's kind of interesting. And then they give you the instructions on the back on how to put it together. It's kind of cool. So I'm looking forward to that. And then the other thing, this is a really interesting story because I pre-ordered this a year and a half ago, and it just kind of sat there in my pre-order pile. No news on when it was coming out, and it just kind of kept hopping from year to year, or sorry, from month to month to month to month, and no news. So it finally came in. Make Toys, Mobine, Missile Launcher, Jungle Type. And this is the way it looks by itself, just like this. But what it is it's actually a add-on kit for Power Core Combiner sets. So you buy the Power Core Combiner as a main body, and then this whole thing breaks apart into a bunch of different pieces and combines into a body. So there's all the pieces there, and then that's the way it sits normally. So I actually have the body that it goes with, or is meant to go with. It's actually called Heavy Tread, and it's a single parts Power Core Combiner. And this is what he looks like with his body now.
Yeah.
And it's really cool.
Looks nice.
Yeah. So this whole centerpiece here is Heavy Tread, and that's it. All the arms and the legs and this massive gun are parts of the new add-on kit.
Cool.
It's very cool. I love this thing. And the only other thing I wanted to talk about today is because Jeremy mentioned it last time, and I thought, you know what? I'm going to bring it out. This is my G1 Jetfire.
Oh, very nice.
All the parts, all the armor is there, including his $30 gun clip, which you cannot use it with, so dumb. So that's why that thing was lost. And I also do have instruction manual for him as well, so.
Cool.
He's pretty complete.
Cool.
Very cool. I love this guy.
Looks
I
very
never
light.
ended up getting.
Yeah. And I'm done.
All right. Hey, so did you pick up More Than Meets the Eye this week?
I did not. I have it in my bag. It's still there, but I forgot to buy it this week. There was so many things going on this week. I I forgot to actually go to pick it up on the comic book or on the free comic book day. It was just insanity at the store, so I just said, "Look, I'm not going to actually buy it today," and I just haven't gone back. So I'm going to go back. I got a couple other things in there. Spider-Man #1 came out on the same day, so I'm going to go grab that as well.
Okay. Cool. All right, Jeremy, what do you have for us?
Well, I did pick up More Than Meets the Eye, number 29 or 28, and I only got the one cover because everything was crazy in our comic book store too. I forgot to go and pick up the KC cover, but I probably wouldn't have been able to get to it anyway because it was right behind the tables where the free comic book day stuff was. But so I got the cover here with Megatron and
That's a good cover.
yeah, the Alex Milne. And I also got
Yay!
signed copy
That's
of
signed. Wow.
Transformers versus G.I. Joe.
Did your comic book store shit all over it too?
No, mine is just a pristine book. So,
Lucky
and-
That's
boy.
America. That's America.
yeah, I actually got a couple extra copies for you guys, and
Yay!
that's the
Aw,
other.
Thank you.
They all have Decepticon logos except for this one. So,
Well, that's kind of neat.
Does
yeah,
that make it rare?
I don't know, but I lucked out because my wife and her sister were in town, so they picked up copies as well. And then my comic book store, I didn't even realize that they were going to do this, but they had in my subscription bag another one. So
They know you.
Your comic book store sounds like a great company, a great group of
I
guys.
think they realize that I'm the one that subscribes to all the Transformers books, and I also, while I was picking up my my More Than Meets the Eye, I did add Transformers versus G.I. Joe to my pull list. So
Right on.
Cool.
That's good customer service.
yeah,
What's the name of your comic book store?
yeah, Phantom of the Attic in Oakland, in Pittsburgh. Not
Nice.
the one that Charles goes to that messes up the backs of the free comics.
Hey, they watch these videos too, so let's not disparage them too much.
I can. I'm never going to those stores.
Anyway,
Yeah,
it's
so-
go ahead.
I was going to say, Tom Scioli was up in Toronto signing books at a store up there. I forget which one it was, but
Beguiling.
the Beguiling. So I'm sure he signed a few up there, and then he signed a bunch for my store and for Jeremy's store. So there will be a bunch out there for people to pick up.
Right on.
So that's all I got this week.
All right, Yoshi, what do you have?
That's a great question. I noticed at my store. You know the stickers you can get for your kids in grocery stores and stuff.
Yeah.
I noticed in my store they had like a retro G.I. Joe sticker pack, and I was like, why isn't there any Transformers? I kind of want them. So I got on the internets, tubes as we call them here in Alaska, and I did some searching, and it took a shocking amount of effort, but I did find an old school set of G1 stickers,
Nice.
which you guys know I'm kind of old school and I like to write letters, and I think I got a bunch of packs of these, so I figured it'd be neat to decorate some of the letters and envelopes that I send.
Is that Dreamwave art or is that G1 art?
If it's Dreamwave, I think it's G1 art.
No, I think it might be Dreamwave.
Okay. I'm not seeing anything.
What year is on there?
2012.
No.
Could even be IDW.
Yeah.
No, it's pretty cool. I also, while I was down south, I found this book, which I didn't even know existed. It's Volume 2 of the DW collection of the original series.
Oh, is that
That's a Dreamwave.
Yeah, I know
warranties?
it's I guess it's a little bit sacrilegious, but when I got home, I jumped on Amazon and I got the first one.
Oh, that Prime.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I was kind of
Puffy Prime.
Oh, so
I was
that's an. Oh, it's curious. That's an IDW reprint of the Dreamwave book.
Yes, it is. But the covers on the IDW Volume 2 is really similar, and vice versa. But what I noticed is Volume 2, whether DW printed it or IDW printed it, it's really expensive. Like we're talking nearly $100. I mean, where
Wow.
I
Oh
found it,
wow.
and I don't have any idea why, other than they're both out of print. But I don't know why.
It's definitely
Volume
not for the quality of the content.
No.
You can buy the individual books for like $4 each.
So at some point, I'm sure I'll read them. But yeah, that's what I scored this week.
Right on.
Did you have something, Jeremy?
I was just gonna say that Dreamwave gets a lot of flack. I mean, there are some good bits in there, but it's hit or miss.
Yeah.
I'll let you
Yeah.
know if I ever get to reading them. So that's what I brought to the table. What do you got this week, Charles?
All right. So I also I did 2 trips to the comic book store this week. So I actually picked up more than meets the eye on Wednesday to avoid the free comic book day shenanigans. So got me the Alex Milne cover and the Casey Collar cover.
What?
Uh,
What?
so
Where's-
I so hold on.
This is the last one. You need one more.
Yeah, so they had the retailer incentive put away for me, the Livio Ramondelli cover, but when it was sent to them, when it was shipped to them, it came bent. So they were going to get another one for me, and they asked me, do you want to get this one or do you want to wait for us because they're going to send us a replacement since this one was bent? And I said, no, I'll wait for the replacement. And they said, okay, so we'll hold it for you, and then when it comes in, we'll give it to you. So
That's cool.
That
You
is
know.
cool.
so yeah, so I'm getting the last one. Don't worry.
Just make sure they put a big stamp of their information on the back.
Right across the front.
So Phantom of the Attic, Monroeville, I love you guys. I'm your loyal Transformers customer, even though you stamped my Transformers versus G.I. Joe books.
Those sons of bitches.
But yeah, so I also got the Transformers versus G.I. Joe books, also signed
Wow.
by Mr. Scioli, although he did not draw a nice little graphic. He just, put his name there.
We can see which store he likes better.
Obviously.
And yeah, unfortunately, they did stamp. They stamped the books here. So yeah, little stamp there for him.
What kind of world do we live in?
But yeah, so but they also they had a great promotion for Free Comic Book Day where they had a bunch of the Marvel Essentials, those fat collections of classic comics. And for every kid, the first 100 kids who came into the shop got one of those for free. So they had
Wow.
they had about 15 different ones out, and you could just pick one. So I actually brought both my sons and my nephew with me to the comic store, and they each picked out one. So
Wow.
my older son got an X-Men, my younger son got the Spider-Man, and then my nephew got a Hulk
Nice.
Marvel Essentials. So
Cool.
That's cool.
That almost makes up for them defacing those books. Almost.
So yeah, that's it for me this week. All right, I think that wraps up our trips to the store. Please be sure to check out the rest of our podcast at transmissionspodcast.com. You can see a link to this episode in the show description below. This week we had P.All on and got to give him a proper interview, and we also did a whole show with him. So we were really happy that he was able to come back and hang out with us one more time. So please go and check that out, and we will see you next week. Bye-bye.
Adios.
Bye.